And welcome to this early edition of the News at 5, and we begin with breaking news. As you saw here on KTVB, the Moscow Police Department just wrapped up their second news conference about the investigation into the deaths of 4 University of Idaho students. 1 week ago, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Kaylee Gonsalves were murdered in a home just off U of I's campus. There's still a lot of questions around their deaths, like who stabbed them and why. Our Abby Davis is here now to break it down. So, Abby, what are the keys that came out of today's news conference?
Well, we didn't learn really anything new today. It was essentially just a reiteration of everything that the police department released yesterday in a press release. Now, right now, they're really working together to put together a timeline of events leading up to their deaths. That's a big priority. So we know on Saturday, November 12th, from 8 to 9 p.m., Ethan and Xana were at a Sigma Chi party. Kaylee and Maddie were at the Corner Club bar from 10 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. After leaving the Corner Club at 1:40 a.m., Kaylee and Maddie were at Grub Truck, a local food vendor downtown Moscow, before using a, quote, private party for a ride home. Police say all 4 roommates were back at the house on King Road at 1:45 a.m. They also say they've interviewed the driver who took Kaylee and Maddie home and that they do not believe he is involved in the crime. Last week, MPD confirmed 2 roommates were home at the time of the attack. The department says the 911 call was made from within the residence on one of the roommates' cell phone shortly before Moscow police arrived around noon on the 13th. Chief Fry says those 2 roommates are unharmed but won't release who specifically made the call. The victims were also found on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the home.
It is a complex and terrible crime, and it will take some time to resolve.
Police say they don't have a suspect or suspects at this time. The Latah County coroner says the 4 victims were most likely asleep when they were attacked, and some had defensive wounds. There was also no sign of sexual assault. Fry says they've received more than 640 tips so far and interviewed 90 people. Those were the most updated numbers given today. He maintains that this was an isolated attack, but that they have not found the weapon. Police say detectives have contacted local businesses to determine if a fixed blade knife had been purchased. Now they're asking people to stay vigilant and be careful. Police are also asking anybody who knows anything to call their tip line. That's 208-883-7180. And they also have an email tip line, Doug, for people to send in tips, videos, and photos.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that right now. Oh, it's tip line at, I don't think we should be using the Moscow PD PIO number. That's for press inquiries. For tips, it's tip line at ci.moscow.id.us. It's kind of a long email address. But the chief spoke. Kedrick Wills, the director of ISP, spoke today. Also, Scott Green, the University of Idaho president, really, first of all, I mean, he did say, quote, we want justice, and they're happy about getting these additional resources from ISP, the FBI, all these people who are involved. His main focus was talking about security on campus and making sure students have everything they need.
That's right, Doug. We know that there's free counseling available to students. They also have a 24/7 Safe Walks escorts that people can use.
So they call, somebody comes with them to walk them to wherever they go?
But we also know that people are now home for Thanksgiving break, and we also know that a lot of students left early for Thanksgiving break. But in terms of kind of what campus will look like when people come back, Green said that some students they're hearing may not want to come back at all. Some students feel safer actually in Moscow with their community, so they're looking at alternatives. So it looks like they might employ some of those COVID-19 learning tactics.
I was going to say we learned a lot through COVID and how to do that. So it sounds like it's going to be a bit split. You know, some students feeling more comfortable being on campus with support networks, others working from home remotely or however.
That's right. Their biggest thing is they just wanted to make all of the students as comfortable as possible, and that may look a little bit different for everyone.
Yeah, and they're off this week, and so this is they said that they would be gathering that information to make sure students and parents are fully aware of what needs to be done to accommodate them in any way. All right. Abby, thanks for staying on top of this story for us, and we'll see you again tonight on the news at 10 or a little bit earlier, depending on how the football game goes. But great work on that, and thanks.